Everybody say that we falling off lately. Maybe we just ain't been on the same page. In my mind, I'm done fighting it. In your heart, you keep trying. The truth is not hiding. That's just the way we are. But can't say you love me when it's like that. Can't say I love you when it's like that. If it was new, it won't be like that. To everybody else, it won't just show me back. But I love when we make up like that. And you love it when I make you mad. But maybe we just love like that. Yeah, maybe we just love like that. Sometimes I don't want you around. You do something.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Man, we're not gonna be too long tonight, all right? We're gonna keep it real smooth. So, things have been heating up, I know, under the radar, under the covers on this whole custody exchange situation. And I know my ex pretty well, man. She's always gonna do some things to try to justify her bad behavior and make it sound reasonable. And now, lo and behold, right on cue, here we go with the email and the email trails to start to justify the patterns of why you're not making the children available and why you're no call, no showing. All right. So I get this email, and mind you, she doesn't send emails to me directly. You know what I'm saying? She'll CC me on the email, but she'll email my legal team in an effort to get them to pass it on to me. Even though we've said numerous of times, that's not a thing and we're not gonna do that, right? So here we go. So she sends me this email. I'm gonna see if I can pop it up on the screen too. I probably had to, edit a lot of this stuff out. But long story short, she says, I need to update you all, or no, hi all. I need to update you all on the kids' upcoming hectic schedule now through the holidays. Our daughter has a Christmas performance this upcoming Saturday and Sunday, see below, and will not be available to fly to Dallas. Bingo, step one, already in the books. Hey, I'm not gonna make your daughter available to you now. She has a performance. So instead of giving you the opportunity to take her to her performance this weekend during your custodial time, I'm just gonna say she's not gonna be available to you. Therefore, she's not going to the custody exchange spot, whether she participates in this performance or not. So anyway, our son started track with coach last week, if you were unaware, and has practice with him on Saturday mornings. Here we go again, line 2. Hey, now one of our sons has practice Saturday mornings, which is gonna require you to stay in California throughout the weekend if you wanna see your children. And you're gonna have to take them to track practice that I signed him up for during your custodial time. Okay, so he's got track practice on Saturdays now. Fantastic. Let's keep going. There's a documentary being made about Coach, and our son was included today. He also has basketball practice, started 2 weeks ago if you were unaware. And that practice is Monday through Thursday. Oh, so here's the justification side of it. All right, here we go. So look, peep game. I got him doing track practice on Saturdays because we all know track practice is typically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. But hey, I got him a private coach to train on Saturdays during your custodial time because I also signed him up for basketball, which has practice Monday through Thursday. So let's not give a damn about whether our kid is actually, if his legs are recovering from all this practice. We're gonna practice and do all this extra stuff mid-season, all of a sudden, just to really make their schedules hectic, to make me seem like I have all these kids and all these activities, and this is why they can't leave. See what you're doing there. It's all chess moves, man. All of this is all chess moves. And you just gotta play the game for what it is, but it's just sad at the end of the day. So let's continue, man. So here she goes with our youngest, son now. So now she's like, oh, he has flag football starting the first week of January. with the team, and will be training with the track club to get ready for the season. This will most likely be the track club I sign all the kids up with this season. Here we go. See, right on fucking cue. All right, so basically, if you ever ran track, or you have kids or raised kids that are, in track. So our kids have always, ran track and all of that. And essentially, what she's trying to do is commit to a track team and do all of these things, which requires your entire weekend to be dedicated, to being out there at track. And so what she's trying to do is force me to not allow the kids to come back to Dallas. She doesn't want the kids flying at all. She wants to control what, when, and how we do things during my custodial time. And so one of the ways that she tried to do it before and it didn't quite work, because she had kind of fumbled it on her own, was signing the kids up with a bunch of stuff that overlapped my custodial time. Like a couple of years ago, when we at first started like really getting to the thick of like not agreeing, seeing eye to eye, and she just decided to flat out keep the kids, she tried to justify it by saying, hey, I enrolled them in a school, an hour and a half away, because we're moving like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So, at that point, she basically tried to say, there was no way for us to exchange and do this, that, and the other, because I have them signed up in all these events out here. And if you want to see them, then you got to come out here and go see them during your custodial time to their events. And you're not going to bring them to the events. They're not going to stay with you. You're just going to show up to their events during your custodial time. Like, that's the type of shit she was on. So here we go again. And this all ties back to the same thing. It's like she knows what's coming around the bend, right? Like, there's this whole notion of me getting a custody evaluator to go in and deep dive into all these things. And one of the biggest questions that's going to turn up is, why are you keeping the kids from him? Why is there so many no call, no show weekends? And why is there this thing of, if you have a disagreement, then all of a sudden he no longer has access to the children? This is a big red flag when it comes to custody evaluation. So if we have an evidentiary hearing and all this stuff comes up in front of a judge, and a custody evaluator, you're going to have a hard time trying to justify that, other than you being spiteful and just trying to control and guardrail the children, which is what you've been doing this whole time, right? So all this does is give me motivation to keep fighting for the custody evaluator, because now it's like, I see you sweat, I see you nervous, and now I'm seeing you trying to backtrack and justify your actions for not allowing me to see the kids during court-ordered custodial time. I'm allowed to do whatever it is our heart's desire. When I link up with my kids and I say what we want to do, or I ask them what we want to do, they tell me what they want to do and we go do it, because that's our time together. So to have someone come in and try to control that, and under the guise of, oh, they're in these activities and all these sports and this, that, and the other, like, I think she forgot that we used to be married at some point, and I know how she was as a parent. I took them kids to all them events. I went to all those practices by myself with all the kids and took other kids with us to practice. Like, don't let me get started on this. Like, this is not something that, she's been this outstanding mom of just always wanting to, help out the team and support and fundraise and do all this other. Nah, man, she'll go drop them kids off and go sit in the car on social media and do whatever for 2 hours while them kids practice. No input, no insight whatsoever. And when practice is over and they start walking to the car, she'll go hop out and try to collect them and act like she was watching the whole time. Don't know nothing that's going on. Don't know if the kid's doing good, if the kid got hurt. Don't know nothing. There's also times where she'll drop the kids off at practice and flat out leave. I've had coaches call me and say, hey man, this ain't a daycare, bruh. Like, you need to be invested in your kid like I'm invested in your kid. You feel me? And I'm like, what? She not at practice? Like, what's going on? Whoop, whoop, whoop. And I'll go down there and I make sure that I'm paying attention to what's going on. And I'm working with my children outside of those practices too, because hey, it is what it is, right? You got to make sure your child is doing their thing and they need that one-on-one time. So she's trying to mask that by all this extra training and all this other weird stuff. Listen, now I know what time it is, right? Now I know, like, you trying to justify your moves because you know what's coming around the bend, and there ain't no stopping it. There's no stopping it at this point. We just waiting. So I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing, and I'm curious to know what you guys think. If you feel like what she's doing is justified by putting all these kids in these activities, and I should be in line with making sure they do all these things on the weekends that I have them, which is, 3 out of 4 weekends out the month, drop it in the comments below. If you feel like she's trying to control me and impede on my custodial time with the children that I have with them, let me know in the comments, man, because I'm feeling the latter. I feel like this woman is definitely trying to control what I do, when I do, and how I do with our children during my time with them. So I don't know. I don't want any guardrails around what we do. If my kids hit me up and say, hey, man, I want to go do this, or I want to do that, or, I want to chill this weekend, or whatever it is, I'm always down for that. I don't want to be controlled like, oh, no, we can't do that because you have this obligation that your mother signed you up for and I'm seeing it through. I'm not doing that. So that's where we at, man. Y'all let me know.